This is my video about growing microgreens inside in the winter. I have a larger setup in the basement, but my greens tend to need a little more warmth than is down there. And rather than heating the basement, I just brought one of the racks up here, which some of my racks are tall, but this one is enough for me for the winter. And I use a 10 by 20 tray. This is a tray with holes in it, and I put it down inside a tray without holes. You can get these on Amazon, or you can get them probably at your local hardware store. I know you can during growing season, but I'm not sure you can in the winter. And so this is the one tray, and the other that goes inside. So you need organic potting soil to put inside here, just a couple of inches. Then you spread your seed, and then you cover your seed with another thin layer of soil around an inch deep, or ½ inch to an inch deep, depending on what kind of seed. And then you're going to put them under here. I try to keep them, I had this put up higher so that it could be closer to the lights. You can adjust the lights here though with chains or whatever, because you want the lights ideally to be around 4 to 6 inches from the plants, and so I raise them up a little when they're first growing. Now there are 3 really easy ones. You can get just green peas, or you can get raw, and of course you have to get raw, or some that will grow. I just get raw in bulk in the health food store or whatever. So I used raw striped sunflower seeds for this. And I'm going to plant some peas, and also radish is a nice one. It's very easy to grow, and it's good, and it's nice and spicy. And mustard. Those are my 4 favorite ones to grow. In the winter, I'd usually just grow a couple at a time. These are my sunflower seeds. The challenge with sunflower seeds is that they have these little, the outside seed shell doesn't always come off like when it needs to. And I guess probably that problem would be more solved if they were planted deeper, because they can stay moist longer and work themselves through the soil, and that will cause them to work that shell off. But that doesn't always happen in the reality of growing them as microgreens. So I do find myself spending time gently removing the outer shell of the seed sometimes. But sunflower seeds, microgreens, are so delicious that it is worth every bit of work, because they're just really good. But if you grow radishes or mustard, you won't have that problem, or with peas, and they're also all very delicious. But sunflower seeds are just very unique in their flavor, sunflower seed microgreens, and just really delicious and worth every bit of work, in my opinion. So what I do is I soak the seeds overnight and then plant them the next day. You can soak and drain until they've actually sprouted. That's another option. And then you'll get a more even distribution when they're growing, because as you can see here, I've got really big ones and small ones. But that works out too, because I can harvest the taller ones, and then the other ones can continue to grow. So that is the complications with sunflower seeds. The others are all pretty easy. The small seeds, I tend to not soak them ahead of time, which is the mustard seed and the radish seed. But the peas, I do soak them overnight as well. And you can do mung beans the same way. The mung bean sprouts are good, but they are not sweet like the pea sprouts. And so I recommend the pea sprouts for that reason. And this is the setup you need. So if you have 2 of these, I mean, depending on if you're growing for your family or whatever, you might want 4 and to add lights down here. So these racks you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they're stainless steel. And the lights are LED shop lights. So they're very inexpensive in comparison to like grow lights or something, and they work just fine and they do the trick. And these connect together. I like to find the ones that connect together. You can connect up to 10. So I can plug them all in even if I were to put more lights down here, which I typically do when I'm growing more. Like I said, I have all that in the basement. So that is the setup that you need. And then you are good to go. And once you harvest these after about 10 days of growth, you just cut them off and rinse them very well. Let them soak in some water, and do a double or triple rinse in a bowl of water. And then you can bag them up and put them in the refrigerator, or put them in a jar and put them in the refrigerator with the lid on, and eat them as you please. And that is, I believe, all. Okay, so after you harvest, on the peas after you harvest will continue to grow back. So you can let them grow a couple more times and keep harvesting. Your first harvest is always going to be your best and most nutritious. So normally what I do is I compost this soil. I just put it out in my garden, and then I refill the soil and replant. And so that you have, when I harvest this, I'm just going to harvest what I want to eat and let the rest continue to grow, so that each time I can have live food to eat. And so when you do this, you're going to have to be aware that it's going to take 10 days to grow more. So you're going to time it like every 4 or 5 days, you're going to plant something new, or maybe every week, just however you prefer. And that way you always have something fresh and green to eat. So that is it.